A language considers innovations those phenomena which reflect the changes that have emerged or are emerging from the heart of a community or society. It's citation and translation from Wagner in the paper of Diaz, Mejia, Villamizar, gender-neutral and non-binary language practices in the Spanish language classroom, tensions between disciplinary and societal changes. And this quote reflects what we're going to talk about today. My name is Anastasia.
And my name is Anna, and this is our podcast.
Woohoo! Hey, do you remember the text of Andrew D. Wong, How Does Oppression Work? Insights from Hong Kong Lesbians Labeling Practices of 2015? Because the author discussed labeling practices of two groups of Hong Kong lesbians, so the activists and non-activists. And for example, non-activist lesbian would use ellipses or deictic expressions. These terms are hard a bit to pronounce. So basically they were saying those people like me, to keep their same-sex desires unspecified. And then female activists, they adopted the label Tongxi or Tongxi. I don't know if we agreed on the pronounce of that. So it put them in a double bind. Because for both male and female activists, Tongxi resists heterosexism and Western gay lesbian ideologies, etc. And this text and discussion of this text made me think about language practices when we talk about non-binary people. Because honestly, I think it's quite of a complex and really recent topic.
Yeah, I remember this text, and for me it was really interesting and sometimes shocking to read about how different people behave, because this activists and non-activist behavior was, I would say, completely different. And I remember this part where people was trying to hide their preferences from their parents. So for me, it was really interesting, and I kept in mind a text about Bunashat, Albanian sworn virgins. For me, it was also interesting because they are biological females in Albania, and basically they became social men. Carly Dickinson in her work points out that Burnashot are motivated not by personal identity or sexual desire, but by the need to fulfill their patriarchal roles within a traditional social code. And although they are accepted and treated as men in their community, Burnashot don't marry or engage in sexual relationships, and also seen as honorable and self-sacrificing.
Oh wow, I've never heard about this phenomena, and it's definitely like we cannot put it in the box of also saying no, these people are or lesbian or gay or stuff like that. It's completely something new, I would say. But nevertheless, today we can dive deep into the topic of non-binary pronouns and ask the question if gender neutrality in languages really exists.
So actually I'm currently working on an essay about translation, and recently came across a cool article by Dagmar Kroman from University of Vienna and Manuel Lardelli from University of Graz. And the name of this article is Translating Non-Binary Coming Out Reports, Gender Fair Language Strategies and Use in Use Articles. It was published in July 2023. I think it's not a secret for you, but Celebrities such as Sam Smith and Demi Lovato have come out as non-binary and trans characters, and they are even featured in TV series, for example, Sex Education. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it's quite popular. And this definitely shows that the visibility of non-binary people has grown in the last few years.
For sure.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we can see it. So, and more or less, gender-fair language strategies to include all genders in discourse have been proposed for some languages. It was stated in a work of Hornscheid in 2012, and also the same work together with Samla in 2021. And for example, as Manuel Lardelli and Dagmar Groman show, English is a notional gender language with some lexical genders such as a boy, a girl, derivational nouns such as waiter, waiters, and gender-specific pronouns. And of course, we all use they and some gender-neutral nouns for non-binary individuals in English. And it's sometimes strange to realize that in other languages it's not like this. But therefore, languages with grammatical genders such as German, we all learn it now, and Italian, each noun, pronoun is gender inflected.
Yeah, and it was also mentioned in this text of Lardelli and Groman, since the rise of second-wave feminism, people have paid more attention to how gender is expressed in language. Finally, they paid attention to that. And feminists have particularly focused on the use of male-dominated language, which, as research in cognitive linguistics show, it contributes to discrimination and makes women less visible. And in response, various strategies and language policies try to treat men and women equally in language. Because, for example, if we talk about the term gender fair, it includes two different ways of using language, because it can be gender neutral and gender inclusive language. And as we talked, for example, gender neutral language tries to remove any mention of gender from words. And for example, it can be English, and chairperson is used instead of chairman. And on the other hand, gender-inclusive language aims to make all genders visible in language. For example, in German, as we all learn it. And this gender star is used to separate word stems and or male nouns from female endings, and thus also include all genders beyond the binary. So, for example, we have the word readers, so it's leser, star, innen. So basically, it's leser would be male, leserin would be female.
Yeah, and all together with this ian and yeah.
If we want to lay ground for all the terms here, because also some could ask what non-binary means, and as described by Hansen and Żółtak in the paper of Social Perception of Non-Binary Individuals of 2022, and this term, non-binary, is used to describe people who don't identify strictly as male or female, and it includes different gender identities and experiences. Some non-binary people might say they don't have gender, feel partly male or female, are both masculine and feminine, are somewhere between male and female, etc. And for example, Hansen and Żółtak also write in this paper that language plays a crucial role in making non-binary feel included, of course. And it also, I would say, even works with feminitives and women in language, that without words to express their identity, they may feel invisible. However, even when they have the right words to describe themselves, they are often misgendered, meaning others mistakenly assign them the wrong gender, and this happens because gender isn't always obvious, making it difficult for strangers to know someone's gender identity. For example, I was thinking about Eurovision this year because
it was really common mistake because
the winner was first non-binary
and everyone
person.
called like he here. I remember that, and it was really offensive for him, and he even stated something in comments.
Yeah, but that's what you did even right now. You said it was offensive for him.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Yeah. I actually also saw a lot of TikToks when men like approached women and asking them questions and stated like she, or like telling them, and they said like, we don't feel that we like she, her, please can you call us they? But men started arguing with them like, your physical appearance is like feminine, why should I call you like this? And I think that it's really important to ask firstly how people should call you, because then it can lead to some misunderstandings and even arguments, because it's like, so I've heard a lot of gender neutral language, and we discussed it during lessons. And also I recently read about the case study of oh my god, I'm not sure that I'm gonna read this properly, but I will try. But Emma Renström, Anna Lindqvist, Galsin Agbas, Laura Hickanau, and Mary Gustafsson. So they had a paper called "Are Gender Neutral Pronouns Really Neutral?" They tasted male biles in Turkish and Finnish, and they point out that among grammatically genderless languages that do not differentiate between women and men and their pronouns use, countries are found both at the top and at the bottom of the Global Gender Equality Index. So what's this? It's like index that includes national level measures of gender-based gaps in economic participation and opportunity, some educational attainment, like health and survival, political empowerment, and so on. So this index can range from 0, that includes the lowest possible gender equality, to 100, so that means like the highest one. Finland, having a genderless language, is ranked, I guess, like second place of this index, 80%. Okay. And Turkey is found it somewhere almost at the bottom, but it's still like 64%, so it's quite a lot. And what about this paper? These researchers, they poll that pronouns grammatically, in grammatically genderless languages are male biased in activating more mental representations of men than women, and that's why they have decided to invite 400 participants. Okay. Quite a big survey, let's say. It was a survey about language. And at first, these participants were asked to read a short text in Turkish and Finnish describing an American citizen, and then select a photo among a set of 4 photos that they believed was the person they read about. It was like 2 women and 2 men, I guess. And the person was described in some general terms. So this person likes to watch movies, hang out with friends, walks their dog, and so on. And it was really carefully written, not to, in both male and female characteristics were included. Something really like a feminine, social and kind person, and something like independent, and so on. So, you know what happened at the end? What they found out?
What?
This result showed that a strong male bias for both the noun condition and the gender neutral pronouns in both languages. And according to their research, when the pronoun was used, more men than women chose a picture of a man, while more women than men chose a picture of a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was also interesting that they described characteristics of traditionally feminine, so social and kind, and to traditionally masculine, so independent, self-reliant, and so on. And it's again, just bias.
Yeah, it's true. Because it's you just put them in frames, if you're a woman, you're so kind and social and a cutie. But if you're a man, you should be independent. So yeah, it's true.
For example, Polish has a hard time with being neutral, gender neutral, because it's a heavily gendered language. For example, with the pronouns, they can choose between ono, which is actually can be used for animals, objects, or children.
It's like in Ukrainian, vono.
Yeah. So it still has like connotation of being like, oh, are you the animal?
Yeah. So it's kind of humiliating, I would say.
Yeah. But they also made up the new pronoun of onu. And they just invented pronoun that serves as neutral alternative to on, he, and ona, she. But still, I'm not sure how popular this pronoun is. And for example, instead of using gender nouns, some non-binary people might describe themselves using the word person. So for example, instead of saying jestem psychologiem, I am a male psychologist, or jestem psycholożką, I am a female psychologist. A non-binary person might say jestem osobą psychologa, I am a psychologist person, which is
quite unusual. I don't think that we have it. Like, in English we don't use it, in Ukrainian the same, so it's like
we can say it just to avoid showing the gender, but yeah, I would say it's a bit unusual to say like
in Ukrainian I think
psycholog.
It's so
and
strange.
Still you need to show
who am I, like, it's true, like usually we still use it. But during some classes, for example pragmatics, we also discussed this gender neutral language, and we were discussing different languages, and people from like Italy, as far as I remember, they stated that they don't really have it, so they have such forms, and they don't really show pronouns, so they don't even use them. It's like the same in Latin, they don't usually use pronouns to show. And I'm listening to all this about Polish and keeping like thinking, where is it possible in Ukrainian? Like many foreigners during my term here asked me if we have something like that in Ukraine, and like if we use it. We also use they actually. But what else? Anyway, we change the ending of a word, of a verb, of an adjective, of everything to show it like gender.
Yeah, I think it's still like not really discussed in Ukrainian language. But yeah, I think the most alternative way is to say they in plural form, вони, because then you don't need to show if it's female or male. I don't know, in Ukrainian language, I mean, we're still even working on using the feminitives correctly and everywhere for sure, because I still feel like it's an issue for a lot of people. And basically in 2019 Ukraine adopted a new orthography that officially included rules of forming feminitives, and it made them a standard part of the Ukrainian language. Actually, it was given 5 years for accepting and adopting these new rules of spelling, including the feminitives. So in this year, basically in 2024, it should be like basics of the language, so to say. But as I said, I still feel like a lot of people, especially of an older generation, or
they don't understand how it works. A lot of my friends actually are against this because they feel that it's so artificial. Like it's not important and necessary to show in professions. It's like, and they even laugh at it sometimes. Like, oh my god, it sounds so strange. Why should we do this? So for me, it's like a normal thing, but usually people are even now, like even young people, like they're 20, their 20s, they don't use it. So I don't know if any of my friends uses it.
Oh, that's weird, because I'm always like, I don't know, I just get used to feminitives, and for me it's even, I would say, weird to say like, oh, she is teacher, but like in my вона вчитель, and not like вона вчителька.
No, we don't. I don't say like this to like вчитель for a woman.
Yeah, you see, like
we don't use it.
Yeah. Like I feel like feminitives for me it's already part of the language, but also I remember so many. Can I say stupid jokes about these feminitives? Especially
we had a lot when it was like just accepted in 2019. I think that it was like I don't know, a flow of bullying towards it. Yeah,
we have so many ways of making the feminitives, like with different endings and so on. And for example, especially I was studying philology at university, and so I am philologinia, so the feminative. But for example, a lot of people could say, "Oh, you are philoložka," so like the philolo spoon, if we want to translate it.
So adding this improper endings, to laugh at it. Yeah, like I like the way it sounds actually, because it's like it feels like when we speak about philologinia, because I'm also philologinia, let's say, it seems like we add some personality to it, and it sounds like cute for me too, and it's like clearly know that I'm a woman there.
Because I just remembered there was recently also the chaos in one of the magazines, especially about Olympics, because I think they wrote not fully correctly the feminitives, because they said like Українська фехтувальник, so they changed the adjective for
but they
feminative.
didn't change the
the profession, the noun, because it was like Ukrainian.
So strange.
Yeah,
it feels like it's a foreigner trying to speak Ukrainian,
but still a lot of people actually do these mistakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, we had 5 years.
Yeah, we have 5 years to...
And still people cannot get used to it.
No, it's true. I can say that we talked a lot about different situations of many languages. Was kind of even heated discussion, because we didn't only use some article that we read, but also some our daily experiences and TikToks, videos, what we heard from other people, and we also discussed different languages, not only Ukrainian, our mother tongue, but also like Turkish, Finnish, English, German, Polish and Spanish, because we all learned something from this. We see how languages differ at the same time, so some are moving towards gender neutrality, but still are associated with some male biases, while others, such as Ukrainian, are trying to introduce feminative, so it's like absolutely different opposite directions.
But still, somewhere there at least.
So we try to move to improve it. So, what would you say is the answer of our question? Like, if gender neutrality in languages really exists, so what do you think?
Well, I would say that, as we could see, that not in every language, and not yet at least.
Yeah, that's true.
As we talked about in the example of the Finnish language, gender neutrality can exist.
Yeah, it's true.
But the next questions, maybe for the next podcast episodes, even could be if every language actually needs gender neutrality, and if it is possible even in every language because of all these grammatical differences and so on, and then how exactly each language can modify towards gender neutrality. And this topic may have many layers of people also who are for and against gender neutrality, so
we still have some stuff to discuss, and you see, we discussed it during our classes, but still we found what to discuss, and we found even more and more articles actually.
But we had another hour, we could talk another
so
hour.
It's like a lot of time we're discussing that, because it's really interesting. It still have a lot of room to improve, and
but at least we hope that we shed a bit of light for you on this complex topic.
And thank you for listening. I hope that it was really interesting. We tried. At least we tried to make it interesting.